listening to Mogul Talk with Marah. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Mogul Talk with Marah, where we dive into the brains and stories of moguls in order to craft our own journeys to success. So today, what I decided to do is a Q&A session. And the reason that we're doing a Q&A session is for a couple of reasons. Obviously, I have a different kind of vibe, a different kind of setup happening. So we are live testing equipment and hoping that this is something that I can actually post and show to you guys. So with that being said, we're going to do a quick Q&A session just to kind of speak to, the kind of projects that I have going on, and hopefully some mindset tips and shifts that will allow you to, step into your greatness as well. So we have my girl Ariana over here on the other mic. Say what's up.
What's up, crew?
And she's going to be conducting our Q&A session today. So let's jump into it.
So what defines a conscious company culture?
So when I think of a conscious company culture and how that is defined, I think about, how are we connecting with one another in a way that's going to create for a positive environment, right? So when we're defining like a conscious work culture, it's when everybody is, aware of themselves, aware of how they're treating other people, and, moving into a space where that company can continue to grow and create a positive impact, not just within the workplace, but, on its customers, its clientele, and, the world around it.
What role does mindfulness play in effective leadership?
So when we think about, the role that mindfulness plays in effective leadership, we think about the fact that as a leader, people are constantly looking to you, right? Not just guidance in their role, but also for inspiration, right? And you're setting the tone and you're setting the example of what that position looks like or what that workplace is supposed to accept, etc. So when we're thinking about, mindfulness as a leader, we are looking at how we are treating our customers, our clientele, how we're treating our employees, and also, how we're treating ourselves, right? Are we taking care of ourselves in this role? Are we making sure that deadlines are being met? Are we making sure that we're communicating with, the rest of the crew effectively? Every single action of yours as a leader has an effect on your crew members, has an effect on your staff. And so it's really important to be mindful of not just the fact that you have a company to run, right? But the fact that these are real people, real humans who have lives outside of work, right? And being a great leader and being a leader that cares and wants to see your company successful, wants to see your employees successful, a huge part of that is also caring about what else they have going on in their lives, right? So being mindful is more than just caring about, what's happening inside of those four walls of the company, but also about, how what you're doing and the impact that you have at work also extends to people, their families, their communities.
Have another one for you. So share a piece of advice for creative entrepreneurs who may be struggling to balance being themselves with the demands of running a successful business in an industry.
As a creative, authenticity in your craft is everything, okay? So when you're thinking about how you want to balance your business, how you want to balance your creativity, understand that authenticity is always going to be at the forefront of this. So not just when you're creating, but also it shines through even in your business ethics, right? And how you take care of business. When we think about that balance, we have to understand that if you are planning on monetizing your content, monetizing your artistry, monetizing your creativity, there is going to be a point where you have to be responsible, right, with your creativity, with your messaging, but it is still important to be authentically you. So when we think of being our most authentic selves, we also have to understand that it is your responsibility to be your most authentic self, right? If you have a message that you want to share with the world, that you want to get out to your people, to your community, if you are acting as anybody other than yourself, you're not only doing yourself a disservice, but you're doing them a disservice as well. People are drawn to you and people are drawn to your messaging because of who you are and because of the authentic message that is coming through you, right? And if you're sharing messages that don't necessarily resonate with your spirit and who you are, once again, you are doing yourself a disservice and you're doing other people a disservice. How are you going to lead people down a path that doesn't even seem authentic to you? So when you're bringing your authenticity into your creativity, just remember that all of those things support a well-rounded business.
Share a story of a time where you are overcoming unexpected obstacles during filming and the creativity process of facing adversity.
Okay. So, look, let's speak to what exactly it is we're doing right this second, right? So, I mean, obviously, this is a new set. This is a new setup. We have different variables that are at play right now. And, you know, multiple cameras, we have new mics, audio interfaces, video. And as we're testing it, we're learning as a crew right now, right? We're learning as a crew. I'm seeing some new faces and I'm putting my trust in them. They're also putting their trust in me to create a beautiful product, right? With that, it's nerve-wracking. So even as I'm like speaking right now, I'm fumbling over words and, you know, I'm trying to figure out, you know, what is the best message that I can get out to you all, right? Because I'm not necessarily in a studio where I can have 50 million takes and it's just me, but you know, these are people's time, right? This is my time. And so I think that, you know, when we think of, you know, overcoming adversity and challenges throughout the creative process, sometimes it is just kind of like you got to just do it, right? You got to do it. You got to figure it out. Sometimes that means in the moment. But, you know, test, practice. Me and, you know, Marcus, my director, my lead cinematographer, we've been in here for literally the past 3-4 days, staying in here until 4, 5, 6 in the morning, trying to just test equipment, make sure we have everything that we need. And then even still, we still have, you know, little kinks and stuff that we're trying to figure out. But I think that enjoying this process as well, not being stressed out by it, and just understanding like, hey, like we're gonna make this work. It's gonna work out. And we live, we learn, we'll figure out the things for later. But I think that when we are in, you know, this creative process and these different adversities come up and obstacles, challenges, it's just super important to stay level-headed, be able to pivot, right? Without it dysregulating your nervous system and just going with the flow, honestly. Yeah.
Can you describe, because I know that most creatives don't know how to pretty much bring their ideas to life. What tips or advice do you have for them?
As a creative, when you're thinking about how to bring your ideas to life, it's super important to just do it, right? I think that my biggest thing is that a lot of people stay paralyzed, they stay stuck, they don't just jump, they don't make the leap to just do something. Your first project does not have to be your biggest and your best project ever, but you absolutely need to at least start the process, right? Because if you don't have anything that operates as your base of understanding, you can't grow from any point, right? So as a creative, you're struggling to bring your ideas to life, write them down on paper, right? Pick one, just make it happen, just do it. Figure it out, right? But a lot of people just think too much about what if this happens, or you know, how do I do this, or figure it out. Like that is part of the process. A lot of people want to skip those ugly phases. A lot of people don't want to get into the weeds, right, of seeing a vision come to life. But the most important piece of the vision coming to life is doing it. A lot of people don't do it. And so if you're constantly in a space of, I have all these ideas, all these visions that I want to bring to life, you mean to tell me you can't do one of them? You mean to tell me that all of those visions, all of those ideas that you have stuck in your mind, you can't bring one of those to life? That's not your real problem. The real problem is that you're refusing to take action on bringing your vision to life. So if I had to, you know, just give that advice to anybody, just do it, just start, jump into the process. You're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna have kinks, and you know, that's the best part. that's the best part. That gives you something to grow from and to learn from.
Love that. Thank you for that. So share a story of how staying true to yourself has led you this far.
So I could share a story, right, of how staying true to myself has led me this far. But I would have to say that my life is the example, right? Since I was young, I've always wanted to be in media. I've always wanted to be in entertainment. When I was young, I was creating photo shoots, wearing my sister's clothing and asking anybody who was around to like just take photos of me. Like, I'm going to create a magazine, and I created a magazine, and you know what I'm saying? And so when it comes to staying true to myself, this has always been me. And a lot of times people have tried to tell me who I am. People have tried to say, well, maybe you're not cut out for this, or maybe you're not built for that. Now, I'm built for what I say I'm built for. With that being said, when you're thinking about who it is you want to be, who your future self is, right? If that is the version of yourself that you are aspiring to, how can you walk in alignment to become that person, right? If that is staying true to yourself and that's staying true to your dreams, to your desires, how can you walk in alignment with your own path to become who it is that you want to be? Okay? When we think about authenticity, again, like we go back to this authenticity word, staying true to yourself, it's just super important that you don't let outside noise dictate who you are or who you show up as. If you know me, you know that I have a history. You know what I'm saying? I have a very deep history. There's some trauma mixed in there, right? But even in those experiences, I was told like I'm not good enough. You know, I was told that my work on a laptop didn't mean anything. How can I do anything with my work on a laptop? I was told, you know, I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough for this. And even throughout those instances in my mind, I'm like, well, maybe you're just stupid because no, I'm built for this. Like, this is who I want to be. This is who I am. So I encourage you, you know, my audience, my listeners, whoever is receiving this message, you cannot allow somebody to tell you who you are. If you have a vision for yourself, you need to stay authentic to the vision for yourself.
So let's talk about you. What future collaborations or projects are you most excited about pursuing?
Okay, so as a final question, what future collaborations and partnerships am I looking forward to exploring? Well, you know, I got something on the way with Issa Rae. She don't know it yet, but it's coming. Okay, so shout out to you. But aside from that, I just want to continue to collaborate and grow with the people around me. You know what I'm saying? There's so many amazing entrepreneurs and creatives. My mind is constantly bubbling with ideas. I want to throw different kinds of events. I threw an event last year called the Mogul Mixer. I'm looking to do some partnership opportunities with that. But mostly, you know, just anything that's dedicated to my purpose, right? And I feel like my purpose is to elevate the world to a higher state of consciousness. So really anything in alignment with that, any people that are in alignment with that, I want to find my tribe. And yeah, just make some things shake. All of the things. And like I said, you know, Issa, I'm going to DM you my phone number. You know, when you're ready, you just let me know. And yeah, we can make some things happen. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Mogul Talk with Marah, where we dive into the brains and stories of moguls in order to craft our own journeys to success. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, comment, all the good things, share, and hopefully this Q&A session, even though a little unorthodox and we're still trying some things out, was ultimately helpful for you. Bye.